I've been inundated with messages and comments about this, and I'm breaking my silence. I'm taking a break out of my break to break my silence. I just want to say this, Kay's Way, you are a wonderful woman. I really, really admire you in every single way. You're a good person. You've got a good heart. You're everything that Bam was meant to be, but she couldn't quite get there. You are what she should have been. She presented herself as a nice person, but over time, she began to deteriorate. Bam trusted me and she told me a lot. And I'm not going to be able to do this in one video. I realize that because I'm also very emotional. She shared a lot with me. She trusted me. She confided in me. And I'm not saying I'm the only one she did that with. I'm just saying she did confide in me about a lot of things. Bam was emotionally, psychologically, and physically at a disadvantage. There were a lot of things going on with her emotionally. In addition to that, there were other things going on. And I believe all of these things combined caused her to be the way that she was. And we all know what she was like. And I want everyone who hears this to go and listen to Kay's Way's video about this, because Kay's Way hit the nail on the head. She described everything perfectly. She told the truth. She was honest. And by the way, what happened with Bam, there is this rumor going around that what happened with Bam had something to do with me from, the D-Man's camp. Had nothing to do with me. I didn't even know. And I still need confirmation, full confirmation on everything that happened. But anyway, I'm not going to give that too much weight right now. Kay's Way, thank you very much for speaking your truth and being honest. As Bam said, what happened to Shanann doesn't elevate anyone to sainthood. And she was certainly not a saint. Malcolm X is one of my favorite movies of all time. Not because I agreed with the ideologies of Malcolm X, but because it's such a powerful movie. And very often I will listen to the eulogy of Malcolm X that was spoken by the amazing Ossie Davis. He worded this so beautifully, and I'm going to reinterpret it. However we may have differed with him, her in this instance, or with each other about her and her value as a woman, let her going from us serve only to bring us together now. Very idealistic words. I'm not an idealist, I'm a realist. So I'm going to talk some truth. Leading up to all of this, I remember saying, I'm going to release Bam's voicemails. Before this, I said, there was someone always on her chopping board, and it's not good for her health, neither her mental or physical or emotional health or her psychological health. She would sit in her house for weeks on end in the winter, and she wouldn't turn the heating on. And obviously she would smoke, wouldn't she, as well? So that wasn't good for her. And there were times when I would speak to her, and, there were times when she just didn't sound well. And I should be very surprised. I am certainly shocked, but I'm not really surprised. And I know that some of you will want to know how I feel about this. And to be honest, I was very, very emotional. And I listened to I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. My Love Is Your Love by Whitney Houston. Every Step I Take. I'll Be Missing You, the P. Diddy version with Sting. And I listened to her voicemails. I was listening to her voicemails that morning that I heard before I even knew what happened. It's almost like there was a sixth sense coming over me. And, she had gone silent for a very long time. And I was wondering how she was doing. I really was. And in the last part of this podcast, I'm going to let you hear how I reacted right after I heard that she had passed. Now, we all know what she was like. We all know the type of person that she was. Having said that, I would be disingenuous if I didn't tell you that I really felt this. This is not what I wanted. This is not what I wanted at all. And I know some people won't care about this at all. I understand that because of the type of person that she was. She did things her way. She had her own point of view. She was strong-willed. She was strong-minded. And she was just bam. She was herself. She never minced her words. And whether you like what she said or not, she was bam. That's how she was. And there was a time when I was speaking to her every day, and this is at a time when I was estranged from my mother. So she kind of filled that role, and she couldn't replace my mother at all. But it was nice to be able to speak to an older female on a regular basis. And yes, I know what she's like, and I know what she was like deep down, and I know how two-faced she was, and I know that she wasn't a good person overall, but she did get me through some things. It was nice to have that relationship with her, and I will treasure it for the rest of my life. When I love hard. And when I withdraw, I completely withdraw. But I loved the woman. And this hit me hard. It did. This hit the, my soft spot, my weak spot. It really did. It's going to affect me. It's ironic that I think it was Emerald Kimmy who told me that this happened. And I actually didn't know it was Emerald Kimmy because she's changed her channel name so many times and she has so many different channels that I didn't recognize it was her. She was the one who informed me. And the irony of that, and I'm not finished with this. I'm going to talk about this again. I'm just laying it out on the table. I'm giving you an intro to all of this because there's more to tell you. But I'm just going to leave it here. I'm just giving you my initial reaction. I'm going to leave it here, but there's more to come. The ironic thing about Emerald Kimmy telling me is that Emerald Kimmy and I had the morals and the wherewithal and the strength to leave her channel when we realized what was happening. Both of us left long before the takedown. And I think that says a lot about the two of us and our moral standpoint. Us two, we left long before we found out what she was actually doing. And I think that's a testimony to both me and Emmy. We had similar opinions, but we both had similar moral viewpoints. And when we knew it was time to go, I left first, and then she followed. Now look, there was an instigation to that. Bam sent me an email. And I said to myself, this woman, there's something going on with her. And I don't want to be part of her channel anymore. And a few weeks later, Emerald Kimmy followed suit. And I think that said a lot about both of us and what our moral viewpoint was about Bam and what was happening. Having said that, regardless of who she was, she had a family. She was a loving grandmother. She would send me pictures of her family. She loved them. She loved her family. She was proud of them. She had a beautiful family. She would even send me pictures of her dog. So, she was a loving grandmother. She loved her children. And, I want her to be remembered for that. And I think her kids really loved her. And they turned out quite well considering the mother that they had. That's, I'll leave it at that for now.